Greetings, Sagittarius. This one is for you. This is Tarot Lumination with your September 2017 Love and Relationship Report. And that's for you, Sagittarius, okay? Now, no oracles, no reversals, no flyers, no jumpers, none of that. We're going to go for something really simple and straightforward and just call it out as we see it. Hopefully make the best of it. I'm going to invite you to watch for your sun, moon, and rising, of course. Put it all together, make the best of it. We're using a crucible spread here on the understanding that there would be yourself and another and the relationship itself. And the relationship has an identity and a structure, meaning, and purpose of its own. And especially in a chosen relationship. Sometimes we're thinking we're living in chosen relationships where they're more like automated or coincidental, or relationships where we're living as if. Either way, it's a relationship. Okay, so we're going to figure it out. Let's have a look what's going on. Okay, remember, we're coming out of the eclipses now, heading into a bit of an oasis period here, but the eclipse energy is still very strong. It's actually unfolding now more than ever before, so we need to take that into account as the new Sagittarius Mark II comes into existence. Here's your energy, okay? And here's the energy of the other, okay? Person of interest, significant other, perhaps. Here is going deep inside of you. Here is going deep inside of the other. Here is the relationship itself, and here's the momentum of the relationship itself. And we're going to look at the bottom card in a moment. That's what we think of as the weather. It's energy that permeates the situation for you in September, okay, Sagittarius? And you're going to make the best of it, like all of us, whether it's good weather, challenging weather, scary weather, beautiful weather, turbulent, whatever it is, catastrophic. You're going to make the best of it. And you're not going to let the weather own you, okay? You're just going to make the best of it. And you have judgment. Okay, so in some ways, it feels really appropriate because coming out of the eclipses, you might have been one of the lucky ones who are having an easier time of transforming because you've had so much support from that big fat fire trine in the heavens. Now, of course, you've still also had Saturn in Sagittarius for a long time, and it's retrograde, but in September, it's going to start moving forward. So you're going to feel it a little bit more. So you might get a little bit more bounce in your life, and that can affect your relationships as well. So with the judgment here, like surrounding everything, it's almost like a call, like you're being called and you're being reminded, knock, 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 dear Sagittarius, please take full advantage of what is happening here in September, not just for yourself, but for the rest of the world and your relationship with a significant other. And understand, please, that this doesn't come around all the time. It's not every day everybody gets a chance to have a complete reboot without any, like, massive hangovers, okay? So in a way, you're extremely lucky here to have this, what I feel is very supportive energy around you, all right, Sagittarius? Let's keep looking. What's going on with you? Okay, wow. You know, we're starting off with two major arcana right from the get-go. And so it might feel for you, Sagittarius, like if things are a little bit spacey and wobbly and you're kind of going, wait a minute, I sort of see what you're getting at, Tarot Lumination, but the reality is my life is going through this and this and this, and it hasn't been that easy. Okay, and that's probably because of Saturn being in Sagittarius, among other things. And you might be saying, Tarot Lumination, the reality is it's been really, really hard to keep things stable and balanced and harmonious and making the best of it all. And all I'm feeling here for you, Sagittarius, is that it's okay. You're actually doing really, really well. You might be doing better than the rest of us put together. Who knows? But we're not denying that it might have been extremely challenging for you, okay? The Temperance card here would indicate that not only are you doing an incredibly good job of bringing together very disparate energies that can be very, very hard to balance out. And yet somehow or other, you are doing that in a way that you're divinely protected. It's almost like the angels have got your back here. And I'm serious. It's like heavy, serious, heavy duty, angelic presence. And I'm just hoping that, as your reader, that you understand how much love power is out there. We're talking about the healing power of love, literally. The whole thing about tarot illumination is ultimately about the healing power of love anyway. There's all sorts of tarot out there, all sorts of services and readers and astrologers and everything for this esoteric stuff. But for tarot illumination, it's really so much about the healing, okay? So you might be really, really struggling with it, but you're doing a really, really good job. That's how it feels to me. And to other people, it might look like you're just perfectly balanced and everything is just fine. And yet inside there are these massive, like, chemical reactions, churning and boiling and bubbling as all the alchemical process of your life is unfolding, including in the context of a significant relationship or in your broader relationships. It might be one significant person. It might be somebody who's coming into your life, someone who's leaving your life, or someone who's in your life right now. Let's have a look. So that's really good news. I'm glad we have this. It looks like you're relating with someone who has the absolute best of intentions. It's like they've got your back and they are there for you. This is the energy of what I feel of as a really good farmer, someone who's very trusty, very reliable, and is there for the long term and understands that a lot of things might not feel too romantic or lovey-dovey for extended periods of time because, it's wonderful to have romance. It's wonderful to have like a marriage or a relationship that, looks like what that is. But if it's deeply flawed at the core, that's a problem. Whereas with you, Sagittarius, you might be relating with someone who fully understands what goes on inside a healthy relationship, and they are willing to continue to invest. They continue to bring it on home into the relationship. They understand that it is an ongoing process, just almost like being a farmer. You get up every morning and you kind of dedicate yourself to your life and your world around you, and you dedicate some of that energy towards the relationship, towards you. In other words, I have a feeling here with you, Sagittarius, that no matter what struggles you're going through, you're dealing with someone else who at some core of their being is really there for you. They've got your back and they intend to stay there. They're not messing around. They are it's like it's a continuous and long-term investment, and they're up for that and they're game for that. And they're not going to let the team down. And they also understand that it isn't, in other words, if you don't even look at the rest of these cards, this would be sweet as it is. Like you, Sagittarius, have this other person who's there for you, with you, and you could just be grateful just to have that. But I feel that with this other person, they are very aware of the relationship dynamic itself and the value of the relationship itself and the importance of maintaining and investing in the crucible so that the crucible, the structure of the relationship, is strong and durable for the long term. Okay? I hope that makes sense, Sagittarius. I hope I'm not confusing things. So let's have a look deeper inside of you. Oh, okay, with the Six of Cups here, my feeling is that you might be a little bit, this is the nostalgic card in some ways. Some people think it's a soulmate card. There's a lot of love here, either way you look at it. And it might be, Sagittarius, that a part of you is sort of longing for the past, longing for what was, and all the sort of the sweetness. This is almost like kind of going down memory lane, almost with a mate, a partner, where you're kind of giving yourself a breather moment here in September, where you're aware of your good fortune, almost to the points where you could call yourself soulmates, that kind of energy. You're not letting it go to your head, but it's very much focusing the energy of attitude of gratitude, where deep inside of you, Sagittarius, there's something about you that is very deeply aware of how very, very fortunate you are to have at least somebody special on your side, on your team, for not just for you, but for the relationship itself, the structure, the endurance, the ability for the relationship to endure for the long term, to the point where you could officially call your mate, you Sagittarius could call your mate a soulmate. And that's beautiful. Okay? So a lot of people might be envious of you in that way. No matter what things look like on the surface, deep down, it's like I have a feeling you know this, you feel this, and you believe this. And somewhere in the ingredients of your relationship, this particular ingredient exists, okay? So that's good. Now, how active that is in the present, I'm not sure. I can't tell here, but I have a feeling there's so much value here, like in the past. Perhaps you've got a situation where you've both been investing for the long term, and yeah, you understand the struggles in the long term challenges, but it's a journey. It's a journey, and we're just going through this oasis here, this period of respite here in September, where a little bit of the pressure's off for a while, because things are going to change towards the end of the year. Change quite a lot in terms of the astrology and stuff. And so this might be a really good time to take advantage of the situation. Let's have a look inside the other. Wow. So with the Ace of Swords here, I feel again that you're dealing with a significant other, Capricorn, Sagittarius, who is really aware of the good side of the relationship, the benefits of long-term investment, the benefits of having a very, let's say, balanced, even, healthy approach to the relationship, where you understand there are long periods of separation and periods of intimacy, and it goes back and forth. It is a continuum, okay? It isn't just all lovey-dovey and sparks and wonder and parties and glory all day, and then when that's not happening, the relationship is dead and ruined. No, it looks like there's a very healthy, mature relationship here, which is built for the long term and can endure so long as everyone's willing to continue to invest and understand that if there have been any issues in the past that might have threatened the integrity of the relationship, it's over, it's done, it's forgiven, it's gone, and you now have a chance to start absolutely from scratch again. And it doesn't, I'm not saying it's going to be simple. And simple certainly does not mean easy. It does mean continued work. It means continued investment, and means continuing the process of keeping your own equilibrium and balance just for you, Sagittarius, in order to make the best of the relationship itself. Because this significant other really sees this as an opportunity, almost again to start from scratch, in the way that you might feel it's a good time to start from scratch and rebuild a new life together. Almost, instead of just Sagittarius Mark II, it's Sagittarius in loving relationship Mark II. It's a complete reboot, and you're with a significant other here who also feels and agrees the same thing in the same way. Of course, they're coming from their perspective, and my feeling is that they see this as a very good thing. Like it's a total upgrade for the relationship itself. It's almost like you could like rewrite the rules of the relationship. It's almost like rewriting your marriage vows and doing a complete upgrade. I'm not saying you're married as such, but it's that kind of thing where you have one of those, like it's almost like a family meeting or a kitchen table meeting, or you treat yourself to a cup of coffee somewhere, you go out, or a dinner somewhere, or go out and treat yourself to a really healthy, beautiful one-on-one conversation where you kind of like, you know, you do that thing where, you know what, damn it, yeah, we're going to do this. We've got this and this already. I love you, you love me, and we've had our issues and everything, but this is a golden opportunity to restart. We're going to do it, and we're going to make a pact, okay? It's right in your face. It's right there, okay? It isn't just assumed. It's not just being taken for granted. It's actually happening. Let's have a look at the core of the relationship itself. Okay, So with the Hanged Man here, see, it's a lot of, let me look back here. Okay, with the Hangman here, my feeling is that I feel this relates very much to the time period of September, where for a lot of people, a lot of signs, pretty much every sign, there's going to be this period of like a gentle oasis where a lot of the planetary alignments are going to be fairly gentle and soft for a while before they toughen up again in October. Okay, so it might feel like in this relationship dynamic, what's happening right now in September, you are fully aware of what's going on, and you're very lucky to be with someone who's there hanging in with you. And you're going to take full advantage of the situation. They're there for you. They're with you. And the love is there. I feel it's like both agreed, both parties agree and understand, and it's worth investing and worth continuing. But it's a reboot. It's a complete reboot, restart from scratch. Let's have that love meeting and write out a new code, new way of being, like things that we're not going to do again evermore, and things that we're going to do now properly. Remember, love is as love does. Love does is love in action. The healing power of love in action can be activated by decisions, very powerful, strong, deliberate decisions to go forward in a way that's much more authentic and true and healthy for the relationship, which means good for you. So I see this as very, very positive for you, Sagittarius. So with the Hanged Man here, I feel this is very much to do with the oasis energy, the feeling of checking out. It's almost giving yourself a break, giving the whole relationship a break, a time period for everything to kind of ferment, to marinate, and to go through like a distillation process as all of these energies combine into one theme to turn into the Sagittarius Mark II in the context of Sagittarius Love and Relationships Mark II, where you get the total reboot, restart. Everything is forgiven. If there were any conditions or, there's bad energy or the, resentments, and guilt and shame and bitterness and suffering, that is no longer relevant. It's just like old, rotten, useless energy. It just gets wiped, okay? And all the good stuff is allowed to flourish. So you have that opportunity here. Let's have a look where things may be heading here. All right. Okay. Well, with the Queen of Swords here, I don't want to say it, but I feel I have to say it. Some people see it as the divorce card. And I'm feeling it much more as about a truth card here. In other words, it's like a real, like major cleanup campaign. In other words, it's like a couple. When you're a young couple and you're starting off in the housing market, and sometimes it's hard to get in, and so you start with a little fixer-upper. And you bring in everything that you've got, both of you, everything, you just pile it all in, and you find a way to make it work. And that's how I'm feeling it for the relationship here. It's almost like we're moving out of one place and we're going to start from scratch in a new place, a new way of being, almost like it's a fixer-upper. And we've got the chance here to do this now in September. And we're doing it by agreement, okay? We're doing it by agreement. Sagittarius and another, trying to make the most of what you've got already and have a chance to rebuild. With this Hanged Man energy here, you're going to have the opportunity to see your whole life, your whole world, your whole relationship, status structures, the individuals, the people. I'm talking about you, Sagittarius, with a whole new light, a whole new perspective in a way that I feel is better than before. And what that does, it puts you in a situation where you consciously and deliberately, like in agreement with a significant other, where, in other words, we make an agreement to no longer accept things that we used to tolerate as acceptable before. In other words, if we were used to living at such a level where, we tolerated this much BS from you, and I tolerated this much BS for you, for the sake of the relationship, that's cool. That's, you know, it's the energy of compromise. It's the energy, well, live and let live, live and let live. You, Sagittarius, make the decision to allow your significant other to be who they are and live their life. And they allow you to be who you are and live your life in the context of a healthy relationship. So you have the chance to be individuals, but you also enjoy the benefits of of a of a substantial relationship. And with this upgrade that's happening now, my feeling with the little story here is that whatever anguish, hardship, anything that was toxic or unhealthy about the relationship dynamics for you, Sagittarius, are being wiped clean. You're getting a chance to chill out, take a few weeks if you have to, and completely reevaluate your situation as though you're hanging out in an oasis. You're not under huge amounts of pressure to fight or endure anymore. You're getting the chance to, it's like being in almost like a health spa, where as you go through your detox thing, things become more and more clear. You get much more clarity, much more heart energy is exposed, much more truth is exposed, and you realize, oh my gosh, we've been living with so many compromises that are, you know, not acceptable anymore. Once we clean up whatever the debris and the weeds and the mold and the toxic stuff and the rust and everything from our lives, our relationships, we can start from scratch and do something new. But we're going to recalibrate. We're going to make a pact and agreement that we're not going to accept the BS and the like poor compromises that we tolerated before. We're going to upgrade. We're going to be more vigilant, more determined, more loving, more caring, and more truthful with ourselves as individuals and with each other in the context of the relationship. So that's what I feel is happening here with this story for you. Okay, Sagittarius? I really do see it as a golden opportunity to recalibrate much more closely to what is true and honest. And if there has been a lot of fog and a lot of, let's say, misperception or living through appearances or living with like grudges and resentment just to get along, just to get by, that kind of way of behaving and living in relationship is going to become more and more redundant as more and more truth is exposed, and you maintain the standards and you hold each other to the new standards that you are setting for yourselves and each other and the relationship. That's what I feel is happening here for you. Okay, Sagittarius? I hope this makes sense. I hope you get something out of it. Please, if you have to reinterpret, do so on your own. There's a lot of people who visit Tarot Illumination who are already, you know, spiritually highly evolved, and they're just looking to go to the next level. And that's what we try to do here at Tarot Illumination, is help everybody, okay? If you're coming in naive and innocent and blind, I hope this makes sense too. Like I said, read Sun, Moon, and Rising, mush it all together, and make the best of this September time, okay? I'm going to leave this card here for you on the side so that you're aware that we called it out earlier, and then hopefully that will make sense. All right, Sagittarius, take care. Have a really, really good September. Make the best of it, okay? Bye-bye now. Bye.